Mm. All right, so good night to all our subscribers on our YouTube channel. Now we're going to be looking at paper one, part two session. We're going to look at the next out of three parts. So we'll look at the next 20 questions. If you had watched the last session and you did learn from it, I hope you'll also learn from this session. But I ask you, if you're the first time coming to view our channel, please to subscribe so you can know when we're going to be uploading a video or when we're going to be going live again. I'm going to ask as well that if you are currently watching, you can actually share the link with a friend and participate. Say something in the chat so we can also, I like identify you and also integrate you in the session as well. All right, without any further ado, we're going to continue working from the past paper that we were working from the last session, and let's continue. So it will be, I'm not so certain that we put up from 21. I think we did this. I think it was it. All right, so we'll pick it up from 21, all right? Read, you're going to be the reader, right? So let's read 21 for me, please.
Mary invests $200 for 3 years at 5% per annum. John invests 300 at the same rate. If they both receive the same amount of money in interest, for how many years did John invest his money?
Take me through that question. Sorry. Here you go. You're working it out, right?
Yes, sir.
Mm. So Mary invested $200 for 3 years at 5% per annum. John invested $300 at the same rate. If they both receive the same amount of money in interest, for how many years did John invest his money? Okay.
Two years.
Well, you got 2 years. Explain what you did.
So instead of me did know the formula for time, so me say interest equal um P times R times T over the given interest. So me just put 30 for the interest equal 300 times 0.05 times T. And we work go down. So 30 equal 15 times T. And then we put it T over the other side and put 30 over. And I say, we don't know, say divide. So 30 divided by 15 give me 2.
Okay. All right, good. All right, for those who are viewing from the YouTube channel, so what was the secret we learned about percentage the last session? You remember? To find what first? No, I'm speaking to you, Kelly, to find what first.
Repeat.
When we're working percent, what was the secret I teach you last time?
Always divide by one first.
No, always find 1% first. So 1% of $200, you just divide it by 100, and you get $2. And that 2 now is being multiplied by 5, give you 10. And then times 3 give you $30, as I said, right?
So,
So that $30 now will be multiplied by 100. So interest times 100 will give you what? $3,000 divided by the principal and the rate. So the principal would be what? 300 times 5. And 300 times 5 is 1,500, right? And 3,000 divided by 1,500 give you 2. All right, correct. Good. So we're going to move on now to the next question. 22. All right, read that one, please.
so at 22 we did it.
22. Oh, sorry. Here we go.
An article costs $161 of if a profit of 13% is to be made on the cost price, the selling price in dollar is A 161 bracket 1 plus 13 over 100 plus
Mhm.
13 open bracket 1 plus 161 over 10 100 161 open bracket 13 plus 1 over 100 and 13 bracket 161 plus 1 over 100 close.
Okay. So this is saying, yes, good night, Elaine. Guess you're the iPhone lady. All right, so we're going through the multiple choice. So we started off at question number 21 because that's what we ended the last time. So we're at number 22 now. All right. Oh, today is Wednesday night. Okay. All right. So yeah, I got it. So an
Answer
article
A.
you get A. All right. So we're gonna see what we get A now. So an article explain how you got A, by the way.
Because we are trying to find the selling price because it's a profit. So me say put 13 over 100 because we want to find the percent at first. The 16 would have be a cost price. So we just work out everything from there. So
Okay. Okay. All right. So this is saying to us then, an article costs $161, right? So if a profit of 13% is to be made on the cost price, then the selling price in dollars is what? So we'll have to find 13% off the cost price itself. And then we would add that now back to the cost price. So therefore, yes, A is correct. Because in other words, if you're going to use a distributive property where you multiply 161 plus 1, so 161 times 1, if you give out the same 161 times 13%, and then because whatever is in the bracket, you're going to add them, right? So it's going to come back to be the same thing. Make sense? All right. So A is actually correct. Understand, Elaine? All right. Let's go to question number 23 now. 23. Read ahead now.
After a 20% increase, an article costs $270. The original cost of the article is
Okay.
A.
You did the question already?
No, sir.
So you know, so I hear the answer.
Me not work it out. Me just say read out the option them.
Okay, okay,
But
go
I
ahead.
hear answer.
A is the answer?
Yes, sir.
Really?
20 divided by 100 times 270.
Hmm.
Yeah, 54. So 54 from 270 with 216.
Yeah, it's a calculator.
Sir.
Eh? It's a calculator, right?
Yes, sir.
But you're not supposed to use a calculator and do multiple choice.
Oh.
All
It's
right,
still
let's look at some shortcut method then, right? The shortcut method is simple this. And for the benefit of those watching on YouTube and Eileen, I'm going to be showing the shortcut method because she wasn't here the last time. When we're finding percentages now, we first can find 1% of the number. So 1% is always to divide by 100. When you divide 270 by 100, you're going to get 2.7, which is $2.70, right? Then now you're going to multiply this now by 20, right? Good. Now, if you multiply, you can break it up, You can break it up like this. You can break up this. I'm showing you how to do this without the use of a calculator. So step number one is when you find the percentages in a case like this, you first find 1%. And 1% of 270, to find 1% of anything, you simply divide by 100. And you find 1%. Because when you divide by 100, you find one part out of 100, which is therefore 1%. So 1% of 270 is 2.7. Just move the decimal point back when you're dividing. When you're multiplying, you move it to the other direction. So now, that will now give us 270. Right? Now, one second there. One little second there. So it's a 270 divided by 100 will give us 2.7, correct? Then now, if we're going to, we are to continue, you might say 2.70 times 20 might be a big number too. If we do it without the calculator, then how do we do this? Look at this now. 2.7 bracket 10 plus 10. That is still saying 2.7 times 20. I agree?
yes,
Agree?
sir.
Good. So 2.7 times 10 is going to be 27. And the same thing here. So 27 plus 27 will give us our answer, which you mentioned what? 54, right? Was I correct? 27 plus
Yes, sir.
20 plus 20 is 40 plus 14, 54. So that's 54, right? $54 would be the 20% increase. So the article original, but they want to find the original cost of the article. So we can't use this strategy. That's not going to work. So that would not be the answer. So let us get rid of that. They want to know the original cost of the article. So what they gave you, what they want to find out then is the selling price, the price before, the cost price before, that is. So the after 20% increase, an article costs $270. The original cost of the article is what? Now, the question is, how do we find now this increase? What was it before? Now, if it is this would mean then it is 6/5. 6/5. Because 6/5 represents one, the original cost, and 1/5 of the original cost because of 20%. Agree? Agree?
Yes, sir.
So question then now. Now exploring, there's another way now, but I want you to, when you go into the exam, you see how you can explore, right? Now, what they are saying that 1 and 1/5 of the original cost, let's call that A, or 6/5 rather, of the original cost would now equal to $270. So the question then now is, what would 1 be equal to? 1 whole, which is 5/5, right? Make sense? Yeah, following me? So therefore you can say 6A is 6A over 5 is equal to 270. Divide 270 by 5 and let me know what it is, please. Sorry, multiply 270 by 5. That'll be 1,000 what? 350? Is it 1,350? Talk to me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's what it is, 1,350?
Yes, sir.
270 times 5 give us 1,350. Now you're going to divide that now by 6 and tell me what you get.
225.
Exactly. So there is the answer. I already said the answer was before?
Yeah.
I'm going to say that, I guess. So that was A. So we're going to go back over it. We're going to go back over it. You might be wondering, from 20%, how am I get 6/5, 1 and 1/5, and them argument there, right? So we're going to go back to that. Elaine, are you there? Are you following? Let me know if you're following, yes or no.
I'm here, sir.
Okay. You sound quiet. All right. So let's clear all drawings. Let's start back from the beginning. Because the EM, you cannot use characters in the exam for multiple choice. No. All right. It's after a 20% increase. After an article costs $270. That means that $270 is before, it's after the 20% was added. So there are no answers for the original cost of the article. So you cannot find 20% of that. Because that 270 includes the 100% plus the 20%. Are you following me? Are you following me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good. So I would add 20% to 100%. That's the first thing I would do. And I'm going to end up with 120%. That's the first thing. I'm going to put letter A beside it. And then equal to 270. They do a cross multiplication. Right? Good. Now, I'm going to use a third method to show you as well. Now, you'd add twos whenever you multiply by 100. Obviously, you add 2 zeros, correct? And you divide that now by 120. So let's see how much then 2,700 divided by 12, how much that going to come to? So 2,700, right? That's what I said?
Yes, sir.
Divided by how much?
12.
12? 225. Same answer. Right? But what I did before was to write 20% as a reduced fraction, which is 1/5. And because I know that the original cost was a 1, represents 1, therefore I would say 1 whole. And the fraction that was added to it was 1/5 of it. So if it's 1/5, it means then the 1 whole is the same thing as 5/5, which is 5/5, plus 1/5 will give us 6/5. That's all arrive at the 6/5. All right. Now, so again, we're going to look at another method. This one's for the visual learners. Now, if I have a block, now if this block is representing the original block, no. If this block is representing, if this block is representing the original block, then I would have to break it down. If it's 20%, if each block value 20%, then I would have to divide it in 5 different 20%. Make sense? Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Good. No. So what that means then, I'm going to divide this into 5 different 20%. But you might say, sir, what if there's an 80% increase? Then what I would have to do then is divide into 10. Because I could simple write what you do to use the bar model, you'd have to write the fraction in its lowest term first. Good. And if you remain, because what you're really doing, the block, it represents 100%. The full bar is representing 100%. So because of 20%, I'd have to divide it equally to get that 20%. Make sense? Making sense?
Yes, sir.
And a question might ask again, what if it was 30, what if it was 80% increase and not 20%? How would we divide the bar model? Again, if it was 80%, then we say, all right, that now become 8/10. So I have to then divide now the bar into 10 parts and then shade 8 out of the 10. And that would be my 80%. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Let's say, sir, what if it was 95%? Well, again, we're going to reduce it as much as we can. When it can be reduced any further, you'd have to keep dividing, so you'd have to divide into 100 different parts, and then you count out 95. Good? So the same procedure can work. Doesn't matter the size of the percentage. All right. Now, so we're saying that this bar represents a full 100% of the original cost of the article. So I'm going to divide this now into 5 different parts. And the reason why it's 5 different parts, because 20% is 1/5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 5. Let's imagine that they're equal. Now, so this bar does not yet tell us what the 270 is. But in order to find that, because remember now, is an additional 1/5 was added to this to give us 270. Make sense? Make sense?
Yes, sir.
So if the additional 1/5 was added to it to give us 270, how then would we find out what that value is for each of them? Simple. Simple. You got if we divide 270 by 6/5 and tell me what you get.
By 70 by
No, 270 by 6/5 and tell me what you get.
207 by 650.
270 by 6/5 by 6/5.
Mm.
Mm.
Sir,
Mm.
at times you say I divide.
Divide.
So 1 over 6 over 5
No, it's
divided
270. No, 270
mm,
divided by 6/5.
225.
Exactly. But what the bar model is telling us, if you add that additional 1/5 and you want to find out, now this entire thing now represent the 270. Watch me now, Watch me now. Watch me now. This entire thing represent the 270. All of this represent the $270. Are you following me, Elaine? Are you just sitting down there? That's what that represents. But remember, you want to find out the value of who. You want to find out something. So what we basically did, right here, so if you were to divide the 670 by 6, how much would you get? Divide the 670 by 6 and tell me how much you get. Tell me how much you get.
Divide the what, sir?
670 by 6. Tell
670 divided by 6.
me.
Then about 102,
102.
112.
112 again, you sure?
Sir.
800,
No,
that can't right?
so it says 670 divided by 6.
No. 270 divided by 6.
45.
45. Now remember now. That means that what that means is that each of these bar here represents $45. So now you're going to now multiply that $45 now by 5 and tell me what you get.
25.
Good. So you see the method now? You see the method now?
Uh-huh.
If you use a bar model, like a later was now, you use a bar model to help you understand the question. So you draw the bar. So first thing to establish what the bar represents. The bar the bar itself represents 100% first. Now, to find out how to divide the bar now, you can look at the percentage that they gave you. And then what you would do now is write it in the reduced fraction as best as possible. And you'll know what the denominator is supposed to be. So if we notice we divide the original bar by 5, so each bar is 1/5. However, we had to add another portion to it, another fifth, because we know it says 6/5. The 270 is 6/5. So we have to add another portion to it now. Good? And we recognize now to find 1, we have to divide that 270 by the 6, which is the total number of bars there. So, and we'll get the value. Now, when we get the value of 1 bar, we want to find the 100% is the original cost, which is 5/5. So it's for 5 parts of that. So times that 1 by 5 will give us the original cost, which is 225. Now, in order to think like this, it comes to a certain level of practice and a level to develop your sense of reasoning. And you never have to use a calculator in this case. Let's move to question number 24 quickly. Read question number 24 for me now.
If P over 5 equals 20, the P equals
Read it in English now, please.
if a missing number over 5 equals 20, what's the missing number?
All right. Nice try. I'm going to use what you said. If a missing number is divided by 5, gives me 20, what is the missing number? You have to mention what that symbol means to divide. So the question is asking then what number when divided by 5 give me 20? That would be 100. The options there is showing us the different ways, which ways give us 100, which is 20 by 5. Yeah, get it now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Understand, Elaine?
Yes, sir.